Joining us now in the arena to discuss Democratic Congressman of California, Khanna, the vice chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and he, of course, sits on the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to start with a check-in from you. What are you hearing from your Democratic colleagues about whether there is a willingness to potentially take a deal that may be on the table and reopen the government?
Kasie, a lot of the House Democrats are here. We're ready to vote today on extending troop pay, on extending SNAP benefits. As you know, the Congress is out of session. But, what we're hearing on the Senate is that there is negotiation, that there has been progress. What many House Democrats want to make sure is that there is some extension on the tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. I mean, that's been the whole fight. We can't have the premiums go up. And so we're waiting to hear the details, but there has been talk that there has been progress.
Do you think that Senate Democrats should take a deal where they're just promised a vote on subsidies, or is that not good enough for you because of the dynamics in the House?
It's not good enough for me because that's just a Washington thing. I mean, who cares how you vote if people's premiums are actually going to go up? My interest is in actually making sure that people don't have to pay $2,000, $3,000 more a month on their premiums, that we don't have folks losing health care in this country. So I'm open to negotiation and compromise, but at the very least, we need to get some relief for people whose premiums are going to go up.
Let's talk a little bit about the elections on Tuesday and how they're influencing both this process, but also kind of Democrats across the board. Obviously, the wins were deeper, broader. They went down ballot. But of course, the question, where will Democrats go from here? And I'm sure you probably know Jonathan Martin over at Politico, formerly of the New York Times. The lead of his story the night after said the night Democrats finally stopped losing, and he wrote, quote, "Winning can paper over a lot of problems." What do you think Democrats need to take away from Tuesday about how to win and why you won?
Well, Jonathan's a very thoughtful reporter, but this was a huge victory for us. I mean, we had a defeatism, we had a sense of dread of whether Trump's lawlessness could be stopped. And the magnitude of Mikey Sherrill's win, the magnitude of Abigail Spanberger's win, the magnitude of Zohran Mamdani's win was inspiring. Young men came back to us, Latinos came back to us, South Asian Americans in New Jersey came back to us. I think the key is that they all offered a positive vision. They were talking about how they should lower costs. They were talking about jobs. They were talking about what they would do for people. They were not talking that much, frankly, about Donald Trump. They treated him more as a lame duck about to be lame duck.
And well, Mikey Sherrill talked about Trump quite a bit.
Well, she talked about it in the context of the shutdown and in the context of the federal workers being affected. But if you look at what she really, in my view, focused on, it was the utility costs. She said, I'm not playing around. I'm going to freeze those costs. She talked about the cost of living and childcare. So I think that there were positive campaigns. But, I think these wins have stiffened the spine of the Supreme Court. Suddenly now they're asking questions about Trump's tariff policy. And you've seen a change amongst Republicans. Senator Thune saying he's not going to agree to Trump's ending the filibuster, even though I actually think we should end the filibuster. But I just think there's been a zeitgeist momentum shift in a way that I haven't seen since Kamala Harris's loss.
Interesting way to think about it. Congressman, when I assume you watched part of, or perhaps all of Zohran Mamdani's victory speech on Tuesday night, I'm interested to know if you felt like he did enough in that address to talk to people who didn't vote for him, because there were a lot of Democrats in New York that didn't.
Well, look, one, I was impressed. He quoted Jawaharlal Nehru's freedom speech. I thought he's so authentic. I mean, he doesn't hide from who he is. He said he's going to be the mayor for everyone. He put out on Twitter just yesterday a explicit condemnation of anti-Semitism at a Jewish school that I thought was very strong. And frankly, I saw in the comments that people who hadn't voted for him appreciated that. He's building an administration with people like Lina Khan, who was a Biden administration, respected person. So I do think he's going to reach out. I think he's going to build a coalition. And even, people aren't going to agree with everything he does, but he has the temperament, in my view, to be a bridge builder.
And where do you think the party should go, big picture, as you look ahead to picking a leader in 2028. I mean, obviously, Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger ran their campaigns with a different kind of orientation and feel than Zohran Mamdani, who came at it from the very progressive lane. You, of course, yourself have worked with Bernie Sanders and are part of the progressive wing of the party. How do you see that piece of it coming together?
I think we need an economic populist message. I call myself a pro-growth progressive. We need to realize 70% of Americans don't believe in the American dream. The institutions haven't worked. I don't think we can just run on a kind of moderate, centrist, vanilla platform. We need to run on a transformational platform because the goal, Kasie, can't just be to win. It should be to build an enduring majority. And I do believe after this, we can have a new progressive era that actually tackles income inequality. But for 2026, what's important is that we have a big tent. The campaign Abigail Spanberger ran may not work in New York City, and the campaign Zohran Mamdani ran may not work in Virginia. And we need to recognize that we're going to have good candidates in different geographies tailored to their states and their districts.
Very briefly, sir, before I let you go, you mentioned income inequality. Do you think that Elon Musk should be a trillionaire? Is that a thing we should have?
I said I'm all for Elon becoming a trillionaire as long as we can have a 5% trillionaire tax. We would have childcare, $10 a day with childcare workers making $20 an hour for the 5% trillionaire tax. My problem is not the wealth generation, it's that it hasn't been taxed. Have a wealth tax on all these billionaires and trillionaires. By the way, there are more of them in my district than anywhere in the world. And if I can be for taxing them more, it shouldn't be a hard vote for the other 434 members of Congress.
Fair enough. Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you very much for being with us today. Really appreciate your time.